What's going on, everybody? StevDeS here with another Bloons vlog. I wanted to address just a couple of things as far as what my plans were, as far as the growth of the channel, and as far as what else I want to do on the channel, as well as a few tidbits of information about the content creator running this channel. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and show some Bloons gameplay. This is going to be hard mode on Monkey Lane, but spoiler warning... Did you skip? Okay. Spoiler warning, I don't beat hard this time. I get a little bit cocky with my placement, and it ends up screwing me over in the round 70s or so, but you'll see that if you want to watch the whole game playthrough. So, first off, what's up all 10 of you beautiful people? 10 subscribers. I know I really shouldn't be celebrating such a small milestone. I mean, 10 people when you have gameplay channels that are up to 1,000 in the first month. But here I am saying that I'm really happy that I got 10. And the only reason I'm extremely happy that I got 10 is because well, that 10 of you subscribed. I shouldn't say that I got 10. 10 of you beautiful people saw my content and thought it in your heart that you wanted to subscribe. You wanted to see more of this. And I shouldn't be really excited as I am, but understand that I made this channel with extremely small goals in mind, and meeting each goal just makes me more energized for the next video. The only time I'm really calm and sort of laid back is when I'm doing a vlog like this. And I kind of want to do vlogs like this in this voice so that my thought process can keep going forward, as opposed to all over the place. So all 10 of you, thank you for subscribing. It really means a lot, even though it's such a small number in comparison to other channels on YouTube. And more content will show up in the future. This I promise you. Now, an expectation of my games is gonna have to change a bit. In the last one, I said that you could expect 3 different games from this channel. Since the Batman series isn't working on this computer, I went to Tales of the Borderlands, and that filled that slot really nicely. And I completed Cuphead, which, honestly, I would go back to that game 20 times over. It's a really good title. But upon what else I have to... Oh, yes, and Battlefront 2. See, I went back into it. But with those 2 titles, Battlefront 2 and Tales from the Borderlands, I'm going to have to say those are going to be the only 2 for a little while. I may do one-offs like I did with Bendy and the Ink Machine, which I do plan on playing Chapter 2. The laugh at the end was literally me being hysterical because of the jump scares. Jump scares and me do not get along, and I don't mind the creepiest, goriest things in horror, but when it comes down to jump scares and the paranoia that comes with it, it gets me pretty easily, as I'm sure you all saw. But the one-offs and the long projects, and Bendy and the Ink Machine could be considered not a one-off game, but a spread project. As in, the episode will come out as I get it done, because I want the content of that to be extremely well, which will require editing. Now, I'm sure you saw that I did cut a few things. The original length of Bendy and the Ink Machine was actually almost 56 minutes, where I was walking around, and because I'm horrible at finding certain things or remembering my way in a game like that, it needed to be cut down. I had to go through about 2 hours of editing in order to get that down to where you see it now. it was cuts here and there, and personally I wish I did a better job about cutting some things out, but I wanted to keep a lot of the authentic emotions that I was feeling present and prevalent throughout the entire episode. So that's why instead of 56 minutes, you got, what is it, 36 minutes? 37? Around that. And it still got the point across, where I was enjoying the game, but it did scare the life out of me, as horror games should. Along with having the two games and the one-offs, there's a reason for this. I'm learning how to use Source Filmmaker. It is a free filmmaking program provided by Steam/Valve, I guess you could say, where you can take Team Fortress 2, Half-Life, Gary's Mod, stuff like that, and you can put together 3D animations. And you can just go to YouTube right now, just type in that little box up there above this video, SFM in all capitals. And there is some amazing animations with this, and I got to thinking, I want to do something like this. I'd like to learn how to animate characters, how to get characters to be as lifelike as a lot of the really good SFMs. So what I want to do is learn that program, so that's going to take some time, as well as what else I want this channel for. Yes, there's still going to be the Let's Plays, but one main focus of this channel will be pyro gameplay from Team Fortress 2. I'm a pyro main, and pyro mains often get hate. Even when the pyro update came out, it seems a lot of the Team Fortress 2 community still really hated the masked mumbler. I don't want to say that because it sounds like an episode of Ed, Edd and Eddy from when I was a kid. But nobody really likes the masked, the masked gasser? I don't know. I'll think of some other nickname for the pyro, but nobody really likes him. And as the new weapons came out and people tried them, they found more and more ways that they didn't like the weaponry. They didn't like how the Dragon Fury doesn't burn people out for very long. They don't like how the Hot Hand only gives you a speed boost for 1 second. It's horrible. And that got me to thinking, well, to me, it seems mostly fair and balanced. Because I'm a pyro main. And that alone doesn't make me qualified to evaluate these weapons. It doesn't make me an expert on the class. I've just used the weapons enough to see what their main point is and how you're supposed to use them, how they were envisioned on paper in order to be used. So that's one thing I want out of this channel, is I want to do pyro videos to help understand the weaponry, to help understand how the class should be acting. Case in point, ambush instead of WM1ing all the time. It's gotten to a point where I want to learn SFM so I can make an intro, a proper intro for it, and I want to start putting it together as a nice clean series. So that's what my future plans for the channel are. I have a lot more games in my repertoire to choose from. So I will be getting on those every now and then whenever I can. But I'm going to stick to the 2 games slot limit as far as videos for the time being, as I'm learning the program. Which, honestly, even though I have a large library of games in my Steam inventory, which that's a majority of what I'm getting these games from Steam, I still want to know what games you all would like me to play, what games may have a pretty good story, may have solid fleshed out characters, games that you think, with my charisma as displayed in Bendy, Tales from the Borderlands, Cuphead, and even the bit of Batman that I got out, what kind of games would work well with the kind of charisma, with the kind of character that I display in those videos? Go ahead and leave them in the comments, because I'm honestly interested in games that you, the subscribers, think I would enjoy playing for your benefit. That being said, I'm probably not going to touch Five Nights at Freddy's. The reason why I'm probably not going to touch that, and I know I should probably save this for when I have more subscribers than 10, but again, this is a milestone and every last subscriber is important to me. And 10 is just an amazing number. When I was pulling into my driveway and I got that notification on my phone, it made my day. I had a horrible day and I looked at that and said, yes, I did it. With my content, 10 people thought I was important enough to subscribe, and it made a lot of difference in my attitude at the time. I was just not in a good way because work is stressful. But you, the subscribers, should know that I'm willing to try out some games maybe I haven't played yet. But I don't want to touch Five Nights at Freddy's. The reason why I don't want to touch Five Nights at Freddy's: A, the jump scares. I have to put the personal reason out there. Jump scares and the paranoia. That's the name of the game. I love the lore. I love looking at Game Theory or any of the other YouTube channels that covers Five Nights at Freddy's as a topic, like the lore. It's a good game series. Scott Cawthon is quite the creator to bring that together. It's a wonderful thing. That being said, I do notice that Bendy and the Ink Machine, even with the jump scares, it kept an air of mystery about it. Meanwhile, I've seen plenty of stuff of Five Nights at Freddy's, and I don't think I'd be able to put the kind of enthusiasm that I had in Bendy towards Five Nights at Freddy's because of how much I've seen. The story is kind of ruined for me. So I'd want to be able to have a fresh game that I haven't played yet. And that's, honestly, I've played a lot of games, so just suggest some things. Maybe I haven't. And, maybe I'll get around to them. Now, a little bit about me. I want to put this part out there so that when my subscriber count does go up, I don't know what kind of upward rise I'll have in subscribers, but I can only hope that as I put content out that you, the subscribers, will like, that number will go up, and that number will keep growing, because I'd like to grow a community of supportive people who they can use me as a topic in order to get together. I don't want to be the main thing. I want my community to be a main thing. I want you, the subscribers, to be the main thing of this channel. That being said, I still want to do the things that I want to do, like the pyro thing, but make it in a way that you all will enjoy. And the reason why I want to add the about me, just a few little known facts about me, is so that you can better understand the content creator behind the channel. So, StevDeS obviously is an abbreviation of my name. Steven is my whole name. Steven. Last name, I'm not gonna put that on there. I'm just gonna say StevDeS. It just sounded a lot better. I was born on the island of Bermuda, which is a very interesting thing because well, it's very interesting to a lot of Americans, but to me it's quite annoying because I always get the one or two Americans that meet me for the first time. It's like, oh, I'm Bermudian. Oh, you mean that place in the Bahamas? It's not in the Bahamas. Bermuda is not in the Bahamas. So that got annoying after a while, but that was a thing that was a highlight of my life. Whew, excuse me. Oh. And as said in the previous vlog, I want it to be authentic, and I yawn because it's near bedtime for me. So, I'm Bermudian. My name is StevDeS. StevDeS. Des is not the full name, full last name. But I loved gaming ever since I was a kid. And ever since I started doing more gaming in my life, I realized that gaming started becoming more of an art form. And this is just an example off the top of my head. I don't own any of the materials that are attached to my channel at all that I've played games with. I don't own any of that. But to say an example here, Super Mario 64 was a game that I loved as a kid. I could never really get past a whole lot because I was one of those kids that would get scared of the eel in the third level would scare me to the point that I did not want to play it. And the giant world where everything's much bigger than you are, that also scared me to a point. I was a rather timid kid when it came down to certain conventions and games that would be designed to scare the gamer a bit. And Super Mario 64, to use as an example about how video games have become more of an art form, look at the progression of the 3D Mario platformers, the official ones. You have Super Mario 64, which has a pretty basic story. You're invited to the castle. Lakitu says, hey, I'm going to be the cameraman. You go in the door, and Bowser growls and says, I've captured the princess. And you pretty much explore the castle from there and find out how you're supposed to get to the everything. Get to the everything. In the castle. You know, you just figure it out. Super Mario Sunshine. And again, I don't own any of these materials, I'm just using it as an example. Super Mario Sunshine had more of a story element to it. Mario is on vacation with Peach and Toadsworth and multiple of the Toads that are on the airplane. They go into the island. Mario is accused of spreading the goop all over, and you find out there's another Mario at work. He's captured the princess, and it goes on and on. It's much more deep because we're moving from Nintendo 64's age to the age of the GameCube. And there was a shift in how important the story needed to be for some games. Now let's look at Super Mario Galaxy. And in the Galaxy series, yes, the princess is captured, but there's more of a story to it. You're there when the kingdom is getting overrun. You make friends with this woman named Rosalina. She takes you on her ship, and you explore the galaxy, collecting stars and trying to save Peach. Along with revealing, if you go into Rosalina's library a few times as you're gathering stars, you realize there's more of a story out of the storybook and what she has in place for the Lumas and what she is to the Lumas. So there's a lot thicker of a plot line going on in comparison to the first one, where it is, hey, go into the castle, go do all this stuff that you have to find yourself and save the princess. Super Mario Sunshine, oh, the princess and Mario are on vacation, but apparently someone wants to frame Mario. You have to find out who's framing Mario and save the princess. There's a lot more in there before the save the princess line. And in Galaxy, the Mushroom Kingdom's already being taken over. But you're learning a lot of the story from this character, Rosalina. Now we jump to what's gonna be spoilers, so if you don't like spoilers, skip ahead. Super Mario Odyssey. Did you skip ahead? I gotcha. Because there isn't any spoilers for that one. However, from what I can see, from what I've gathered on gameplay, upon trailers, there's something going on where Bowser has, I don't know, destroyed a moon or something. That's why you have to collect moons. And Mario's cap is alive, and apparently that cap is a ghost, and apparently Princess Peach's tiara is a ghost. I don't know. From this standpoint, it just looks like a cluster, and they're trying to make a solid story out of it, which I'm pretty sure the story elements are there. Like I said, all the main 3D Mario games had a pretty solid story outside of Save the Princess, other than Super Mario 64, which took the Save the Princess formula and said, hey, you have to do a whole lot more with other characters in other worlds in order to save the princess. So that's why I like the storytelling aspect of some games a lot more than the gameplay and the graphics. Of all time, my favorite game is Star Fox 64, because when I first played that, I knew how serious the story was. I knew how the characters interacted, and I knew how the gameplay all wrapped up really nicely. And yet, when it comes down to that game in particular, when I was a kid, I couldn't beat the hard setting. I couldn't do it. And so as I grew a little older, I never gave up. Until finally one summer, sitting in front of the N64, I did it. I beat the hard path. I didn't get stuck in Area 6? Area Zeta? Alpha? I don't know what area it was. Sector 6? I don't know, but the Warzone sector before Venom, before you have to fight the upgraded Wolfins and go in there and kill Andross. I hadn't done that before. And because of what happened story-wise, I'm not going to ruin it because it could be a game that I do in the future, maybe as a milestone. Star Fox 64 left such an impression on me because of that ending. Instead of seeing Andross laughing at you at the end, you see the ships fly off in the distance, along with that beautiful orchestra. It meant something to me, and those are the kinds of games I want to play on this channel. Games that mean something to gamers and people alike. Even if you're not a gamer, you'll enjoy the story of some games if you sit there and listen to it. Undertale is a good example of this. Like I said, Super Mario Galaxy, if you pay attention to the Rosalina logs, there's a lot of good games. Oh, dang. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. There's a lot of good story-driven games out there, and Mario's honestly not one of the best examples, but from the example that I used, you can understand what I'm getting at. A game that makes you think, a game that has a thick story, and a game that doesn't have to be just straight entertainment. It could be art. And that's what I believe games are evolving to become. Art. A pure art form, an interactive art form. And those are the games that I think I really, really want to do. So, quick summary. Bermudian StevDeS. Yeah, okay, I gave you that tidbit. The games I want to play because I think you all would enjoy the artistic sort, as well as the entertaining sort. It could be a shooter. If the shooter's got a good storyline to it, heck yeah, sign me up. I'm gonna try to get the Pyro channel going as I'm learning SFM, but unfortunately the Pyro channel is going to be taking up some of the space, so I'm not going to be doing 3 games at one time. I'm going to focus on Battlefront 2 and Tales from the Borderlands a lot more in the near future. I want to get Battlefront 2 done so that I can put a new game in that slot and keep bringing more and more original content. Well, bringing more and more of the content from the games that I play, because it's not original from me, it's original from the creators of the game. So that's what I want to bring forward. So 2 games at a time. I may do a one-off every now and then, or a spread project like Bendy and the Ink Machine. But that's all for right now. So thank all 10 of you for subscribing. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!